The rule applies for division just like it did with multiplication. Everything has to be in fraction form. As I look at the problem that's up on the board, definitely in fraction form. What I'm working with has to be in fraction form. The answer, again, don't confuse it. Sometimes it will be in fraction form. Sometimes it will be a whole number. That all depends. It has to be simplified. Now, this one here is a little bit deceptive because the difference between multiplication and division is I could take any two numbers and multiply them. So a 5 and a 4, I multiply them, I get 20. But I can't always just divide any two numbers and have it work out evenly. So I can't take a 5 and a 4 and divide and have it come out with just a regular whole number, right? This one here is a little bit deceptive because you say, oh, well, yeah, I'm going to go right across. I'm going to say 9 divided by 3 is 3, and 16 divided by 4 is 4, and we get 3/4. Well, that only works so much. If we do 5/8 divided by a 5/6, then we try to do the same thing. Sure, the top works okay. 5 divided by 5 is 1. When you get to the bottom, 8 divided by 6, not so much. So what happens is this. If I think about the relationship between multiplying something by half. Give me a whole number that's divisible by 2. 6. If I were to have the problem 6, I'm going to multiply it by half. And I go and do the work and say, okay, 6 over 1 times 1 over 2 equals 3 over 1, or 3. Okay? You think about how that works. You know, 6 times 1 is going to be 6. What's the relationship between 1 and half? It's half. It's half of 1. So if you were to think of it that way, yeah, if I'm going to cut it in half, it's going to be 3. Multiplying by half is the same as what? How else do you think of cutting something in half? Not necessarily multiplying by half, but dividing by 2. Dividing by 2. So if we say that, 6 divided by 2, and I'm going to put it in fraction form. Something has to be done with what we are dividing by if it's a fraction. We are going to, what they say, multiply by the reciprocal. The reciprocal of 2 over 1, when it gets flipped, is 1 over 2. So your division sign changes to multiplication, and your fraction that you're dividing by, when I say dividing by, when you read it out, 6 over 1 divided by 2 over 1, that one gets flipped. Now it looks very similar to the one that we started with. There's the 3, there's the 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Okay? Now it's a roundabout long way to get from there to there, seeing as though you knew that 6 divided by 2 was already 3. Using fractions, that's what we need to look at. So 5/8 divided by 5/6. Let's go back to that one. Everything is in fraction form, but I need to multiply by the reciprocal. The first fraction does not change. The first one does not change. 5/8 times, we're going to flip that, make it 6 over 5. Now, we've got everything in fraction form. I can start reducing. Both have 2 in common. And we get 3 over 4. If I change the problem to multiplication, I can multiply any two numbers. If I keep it as division, it's not as easy. I'm relying on how the problem works out. 8/15 divided by 2/3. Try that one. We're going to flip the second one. 2 over 3 becomes 3 over 2. So now 8 and 2 both have 2 in common. There's 4 there, 1 there, 1 and is 4. Fifth. Eight divided by 3/4. Now again, if everything is not in fraction form, we have to get it there. How am I going to make this whole number 8 a fraction? 8 over 1. Since that's our first number, that's not going to change. What happens to our division sign? And what happens to our 3/4? 4/3. Nothing in common diagonally. So 32 over 3. 3 goes into 32. 10 times gives us 30. Take 30 away from 32. So 10 and 2/3. Yeah. Anytime I make a whole number into a fraction, I put that number over 1. So if I want to make the whole number 20 into a fraction, what would it be? 20 over 1. Okay, try that one. 7 is a fraction, 7 over 1. Change the division to multiplication. Flip. 9 over 2. 63 over 2. 31. 1 left. Because when I divide 63 by 2, I get 31 with 1 left. Okay? One half times, well, if 5 is a fraction, it's 5 over 1, and that's the one we flip, going to multiply by its reciprocal, which is 1/5. 1 times 1, 2 times 5 is 10. Okay?